1,864 households across the 17 local government areas of Plateau State, covering 5,579 children. Findings reveal that 88%, about 4,958 children, were not attending school, with only 11% attending. The event featured playlets and documentary showing the growing menace that out-of-school children face in their communities. From the Crispin Hotel and Suites, venue of the event, Yaksat Maklek.
Now, the federal government has concluded arrangements for the final evacuation of stranded Nigerians from South Africa, with 315 returnees expected to arrive in Lagos on Wednesday on an Air Peace flight. This was disclosed in a statement signed on Tuesday by the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kimebi Imomotsimi Ebienfa. The statement noted that the fifth and final evacuation flight is scheduled to depart Johannesburg at 1:30 a.m. on Wednesday, July 15, 2026, and is expected to arrive at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, at about 6:30 a.m. The Air Peace operated flight marks the conclusion of the federal government's evacuation of Nigerians who indicated interest in returning home, following the recent xenophobic attacks and security concerns in parts of South Africa. The government had earlier conducted 4 evacuation flights, bringing home hundreds of Nigerians as part of efforts to ensure the safety and welfare of its citizens abroad. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to protecting Nigerians wherever they may be, and expressed appreciation to all stakeholders involved in the evacuation exercise. Staff of the Plateau State Ministry of Tourism and Culture, Hospitality, are being equipped with practical knowledge of the artifacts housed on the National Museum and Monuments to support Governor Caleb Mutfwang's vision of developing tourist centers across the state. A director in the ministry, Abe Abdullahi, made this known during a tour and training organized for members of staff at the National Museum. Our correspondent has the details.
Some artifacts displayed at the museum include traditional agricultural implements, weapons of warfare, symbols of power and authority, as well as objects that reflect religious beliefs, social life, and cultural diversities of various communities. Speaking during the training, a director in the State Ministry of Tourism, Culture, and Hospitality, Abe Abdullahi, explained that while members of the ministry possess theoretical knowledge of the artifacts housed in the museum, many lack the practical experience required to effectively guide visitors on museum tours.
The staff that have been employed for 3 years, 2 years back, many of them only have the theoretical knowledge of the artifacts and the tourist destinations in Plateau State in general.
Chief Museum Education Officer Larry James took participants through the various departments of the National Museum, highlighting the role each plays in preserving and promoting the nation's cultural heritage.
In the museum, we have conservators. Those for conservating, they conserved the artifacts to ensure that they are in good condition. They take documentation on the information of those objects or artifacts in the museum. Then the education, they are the one that interprets to the public.
Some participants at the training, Domshak Amos and Rita Ikeri, said the training is beneficial to them as staff of the ministry.
Since I was employed, I think this is the first time that the ministry have deemed it fit to take us out in order to explore some of the resources we have on the plateau.
This tour is very, very important for us in the ministry because as I came here, it's been long. I've been here and I've seen some changes.
The training aims to bridge knowledge gap and enhance the capacity of staff to promote the state's cultural heritage. In Jos, I am Deborah John.
Now, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has raised fresh concern over the persistent spread of Lassa fever, revealing that the disease has claimed 221 lives this year, with new infections rising steadily over a 3-week period. The latest epidemiological situation reports released by the agency for weeks 24, 25, and 26 showed that confirmed cases increased from 13 in week 24 to 22 in week 25 and further climbed to 31 in week 26, signaling renewed transmission across affected states. According to the reports, Nigeria recorded a cumulative total of 922 confirmed cases and 221 deaths by the end of week 26, June 22nd to 28, 2026, representing a case fatality rate CFR of 24.0%, significantly higher than the 18.7% recorded during the corresponding period in 2025. The reports indicated that the latest 31 confirmed cases were recorded in Ondo, Taraba, Benue, and Bauchi states, with Ondo and Bauchi remaining among the country's major hotspots. Earlier reports showed that week 25 recorded 22 new confirmed cases in Ondo, Taraba, Benue, and Bauchi states, while week 24 recorded 13 new infections from Ondo, Edo, Taraba, Benue, and Bauchi. Despite intensified surveillance and response efforts, the disease has now spread across 23 states and 111 local government areas, underscoring its continued public health threat. The NCDC disclosed that 85% of all confirmed cases this Edo, highlighting the concentration of infections in known endemic areas. The agency also revealed that young adults aged between 21 and 30 years remain the most affected age groups, further showed the disease. One healthcare worker was infected in week 24 and none in week 25, while another health worker contracted the disease in week 26. The cumulative figures reflect a steady rise in infections over the 3 weeks. By week 24, the country had recorded 860 rates of 24.9%, compared with 18.9% during the same period in 2025. Now, despite the ongoing harvest of major root crops in the state, many people are yet to enjoy the usual price relief associated with the harvest season. Across markets, yam, sweet and Irish potatoes remain expensive, with farmers attributing the high prices to transportation costs, the rising price of fertilizer, and insecurity. Our correspondent visited the Yendoya and Bukuru market to ascertain the development and now reports.
A visit to the Yendoya market in Jos showed that fresh root crops to include yam, Irish potatoes, sweet potatoes, and cocoyam are becoming more available. While supply has improved compared to the previous months, the increase has not translated to a substantial reduction in prices. According to the secretary Yendoya Market Jos, Mansour Garba, the new yam harvested has not fully circulated the market compared to the availability of the old stock, hence the high cost.
This time of 4,000 per one, there is one of 5,000 per one, and even 6,000 per one, which means we are selling it in hundreds. We have the 600,000 per 100, 500 per 100, 450, 300. The list is 250.
An Irish potatoes trader, Safia Mashat, who acknowledged the high demand, attributed the high cost of Irish potatoes to the disease that affected the crops on the farm, which led to low production.
The bag of Irish now, the new one, now the latest one are 75. The next one is 70, there is 65.
Also, appointment that the new harvest has not translated to the reduction in prices as expected, calling on the government to address challenges affecting food production and distribution.
It's because of the insecurity. That's why the price rise up.
Ya kamata gwamnati ta taimaka wajen maganar taki, a rage kuɗin taki, saboda transport
As the harvest season progresses, many consumers remain hopeful that the prices of these root crops will be on a lower cost for the benefit of consumers. In Jos, Modesty Nianglong.
Meantime, another suspect who has been in custody of the Jos custodial for years has been discharged and acquitted by a Jos High Court. Philip Gukas was wrongfully arrested by personnel of the Operation Enduring Peace on the allegation of killing a Fulani leader in Paniam district of Mangu local government area. Our correspondent reports that Philip Gukas, an indigene of Paniam, was arrested sometime in 2023 after the outbreak of hostilities occasioned by countless attacks on communities in the locality by herdsmen. It was at the moment that news of the alleged killing of a Fulani herders community leader filtered in, fingering Gukas amongst mastermind of the killing. He was arrested and investigated by operatives of the OEP, and even though the investigating team found him not culpable and advised against his further detention, higher authorities insisted on prosecuting him in court. Since then, the case has been ongoing in High Court Number 12 Jos, with the State Ministry of Justice prosecuting. In his judgment, Justice Jacob Longden considered testimonies of witnesses, particularly that of the investigating officer, who said he did not arrest the defendant at the scene of the crime. Neither was there any evidence adduced by the prosecution showing that the defendant shared common intention with other youths alleged to have killed the deceased. Justice Longden also considered other compelling variables that would have led to the conviction of the defendant, but found none, as the prosecution failed to convince the court to that effect. The judge consequently found the defendant not guilty of culpable homicide and accordingly discharged and acquitted him. As Superior Court judges of the Plateau State Judiciary prepare to proceed on their vacations for 2026, the public has been assured of the availability of other services the High Court renders. Chief Registrar of the State High Court, Cholom Joseph, gave the assurance in an interview with newsmen in his office. Our judiciary correspondent tells us more.
The Chief Registrar of the High Court, Cholom Joseph, while shedding more light on this year's vacation, disclosed that the Superior Court judges will proceed on the vacation as from the 20th of July and resume on Friday, the 18th of September 2026.
The lower courts are not involved. So during this vacation period, we usually witness an influx of lawyers and litigants more, even in the lower court, because the lawyers have more of their time to attend to matters at the lower court.
The Chief Registrar, while speaking on the essence of the period, disclosed that judging is a very demanding job which requires sound-mindedness and concentration, a state of mind that must be backed with sound health. Cholom added that judges also use the quiet time to catch up on paperwork, read complex case files to assist them to write difficult judgments. He speaks on the presence of a vacation judge.
In between the vacation period, a judge has been appointed to take care of, known as the vacation judge. The vacation judge will be entertaining urgent matters that may arise during the vacation period, probably such as human rights, matters related to human rights, and so many other urgent issues. The vacation judge is Honorable Justice G.M. Camille.
Invariably, other courts like the Customary Court of Appeal and the Sharia Court of Appeal will also proceed on vacation from the said date. I am Friday Derwam.
The Nigerian government has launched the national guidelines for public procurement of food and related services to promote healthier diets, improve nutrition, and strengthen food systems across public institutions in Nigeria. Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isaac Adekunle Salako, unveiled the guidelines in Abuja, describing them as a transformative policy that will reposition public procurement as a strategic tool for improving nutrition, preventing diseases, and supporting sustainable national development. He said government food procurement should go beyond meeting administrative requirements and instead encourage healthier food choices. Dr. Salako noted that unhealthy diets contribute to an estimated 7.2 million deaths globally each year. He added that Nigerians consume an average of 3.9 grams of sodium daily, nearly double the World Health Organization's recommended limit of 2 grams. According to him, excessive consumption of salt, industrial trans fats, and sugar-sweetened beverages is fueling the rising burden of cardiovascular diseases, obesity, and diabetes in the country. The minister also expressed concern over Nigeria's malnutrition challenge, revealing that nearly half of deaths among children under the age of 5 are linked to malnutrition. He said about 4 in every 10 Nigerian children under 5 are stunted, while nearly 2 million children suffer severe acute malnutrition annually, warning that the situation threatens the country's human capital, educational outcomes, and economic productivity. Dr. Salako explained that the new guidelines provide evidence-based standards for food procurement across public institutions by promoting balanced diets, limiting sodium, sugar, and unhealthy fats. A non-governmental organization, Restored Heart Foundation, says it will sustain partnerships with relevant government agencies and community leaders to strengthen healthcare services in communities across Plateau State. Program manager of the foundation, Ritmo Agwokir, stated this at the closing of its 9-month maternal and child health initiative project in 2 communities of Birkin-Ladi local government area. Our correspondent covered the event held at the Birkin-Ladi Primary Healthcare Center.
Maternal and Child Health Initiative launched by Restored Heart Foundation in September 2025 in Gaza and Chit aims at improving maternal and child care as well as health outcomes in the 2 communities. Program Manager Restored Heart Foundation Ritmo Gokir said the intervention, apart from improving maternal and health outcomes, facilitated the provision of more equipment at the benefiting primary healthcare centers.
We are proud to see that we have achieved that goal, because over the course of this project, we have supported 2 primary health care centers with essential medical equipment and hospital supplies.
The Director of Primary Healthcare, Birkin-Ladi Local Government, Linda Chuang, lauded Restored Heart Foundation for the initiative, stressing that she would make a case to the Council Chairman for retention of the volunteer health workers who participated in the 9-month project.
We see that the local government retains them, continue paying them the stipends which they've been receiving to continue rendering the services to our community.
Chief Operating Officer Jerry Mate Maki noted that the intervention will be sustained and extended to other local government areas in the state.
We have ensured that this project impacts women, impacts mothers, and also impacts infants across Gaza and Chit.
Officers in charge of Primary Healthcare Center Gaza, Nanchol Gonyok, and her chief counterpart Abigail Dafur both acknowledged the impact of the project on women, children, and the communities.
We were having scanty women before, but because of this project that has been brought to Gaza Ward or to Gaza Primary Healthcare, you can see even in our report that, as she has rightly said, women have increased.
There were goodwill messages from the representative of the Executive Secretary, Plateau State Primary Healthcare Board, and Gomri Birkin-Ladi, as well as presentation of Maternal and Child Health Initiative report, certificates, and testimonies by the health workers. I am Gwakop Timothy.
Now on the foreign scene, The European Union (EU) has banned the purchase, import and transfer of gold from Sudan, saying the trade has become a key source of financing for the country's civil war that erupted in April 2023. The conflict between the regular army and the paramilitary rapid support forces has triggered one of the world's worst humanitarian crises, forcing more than 14 million people from their homes. Sudan is one of Africa's largest gold producers, and its vast reserves have become a crucial source of revenue for both sides, according to rights group. EU foreign ministers approved the measures alongside a ban on exports to Sudan of mercury and cyanide, chemicals widely known in gold mining. According to UN experts and other analysts, more than half, and by some estimates as much as 70% of Sudan's gold is smuggled out of the country each year. The gold is often trafficked through neighboring countries, including Egypt, Chad, and Libya, before reaching Dubai in the United Arab Emirates (UAE), a major global hub for gold refining and trade. Under the restrictive measures, EU individuals and companies are prohibited from purchasing, importing or transporting gold originating in Sudan. Mercury and cyanide needed for humanitarian and public health purposes are not subject to the EU's export ban. And that's a wrap on News Track. Do remember to stay tuned for global news at 6:30 p.m. as well as news update at 10 p.m. Stay tuned for the rest of our programs.
Beautiful Prtvc. Beautiful Prtvc.